All right, family. Hello, family. I'm on time, but I'm late. Oh, Lord. See, I'm doing a live. Hey, I'm doing a live. I'll call you back. Call you back, Trina. Okay, family. How we doing? I hope everybody is doing well. Man, this is a good day. It's cloudy. Hold on, y'all. Soon as I get on my live, here comes I get calls, right? But that's okay. That's a subject of another day. We got some great subjects coming up because we're gonna talk about what's coming in America as far as we're talking about CRT today, but we're gonna talk about the LGBT and the bigger picture. And I want us to talk about CRT. What I really want to know is CRT worse than LGBT? Because they're not wanting to teach our children history, okay? Because they're saying it's more about hurting the white children's feelings. But I'm seeing you pushing LGBT on our children. What is worse? Hey, forecast, what's up? What's up? What is worse? Is the LGBT worse than CRT, or is it which one's worse? I'm having an issue here because what I'm looking at is us calling bad good and good bad, right? When America does not want to face its stuff, Grandma, welcome. When America, y'all like and share, you come in, hit the bell so we can get the numbers up or whatever. What I see in America is when America does not want to discuss a certain topic, they call it they make bills about it. And when you see politicians making a bill about something, that means that they're scared, they're running scares, they don't want to really talk about it because they just don't think it's important. Okay. And a lot of our issues, they don't think it's important. So they're gonna ban a lot of that anyway. Okay, whether CRT is bad or not, everybody, because white folks say, oh, it's bad, then they say it's bad, right? Without even doing research about it, I found out so much about the CRT stuff. It's so important for us, to teach our children. I'm serious because some laws is coming down the pike. Oh, I'm gonna read some stuff to you about this Christian pedophile stuff. They got a whole website about Christians and pedophilia and asking God, why you let me be a pedophile? All this crazy stuff. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of this disgusting country and why they don't want to talk about certain things, okay? But if it's nasty, it's disgusting, oh, they talk about it all day long. So we have to understand that. Now, if it's something nasty and all outright just downward, just disgusting, oh, America's all for it. And guess what? Black folk for it too. Because we allow them to tell us what's good to talk about, right? Bakari, welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we have to get to the point where we are being honest about what's really going on here. I want to show you guys something. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about this LGBT and the CRT, and I want you guys to really see the LGBT agenda for our boys. Okay, so and then you're going to tell me what's worse: is it CRT or LGBT? Okay, because you teaching LGBT in the libraries, you got them, you got them dressing up all these crazy looking. I'm looking at some of them and I'm like, oh my God, if I was 5 or 6, I'd be scared of them. You got men with beards with makeup on. Okay. And I'm like, with wigs on. Okay. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, wow, we've gone so far. But the sad part is parents are taking their children to see this stuff. Okay. Parents are taking their children to these gay prides, seeing seeing gay LGBT stuff all over the place, right? And it's not an issue right now because they say, oh, they have to learn. What do you have to learn? Why do you have to learn that? I don't have to teach my children that. Okay. So let's dig into this. I hope everybody's doing well. I didn't even really introduce a lot of stuff. I was on a live earlier and they were talking about a lot of people are getting ready to do this big move to Africa, and I hope you guys are. I don't know if you guys are looking, watching this move here, or what's going on, but I hope you guys are to understand and just to educate yourself, give yourself an help you to make an educated decision on when it's time to move, if it's time to move, or if you. Some people aren't planning on going anywhere, and that's fine. But I hope you got some other stuff up your alley. Hope you got your money into gold and silver. Hope you got your water and your stuff that you've packed aside. I hope you have enough to live on, because if you stay here, it's not going to be good for people that's here in America. That's why I keep talking to my husband about, either we're gonna sell the house or we're gonna maybe lease it with the option to buy. But I really am not really trying to be here when a whole lot of other stuff is coming down the pike. And I'm telling you, this next year and a half is going to be really rough for Black people in America. Okay. But we don't understand that. We keep, push, just like when I was telling people a couple years ago, hey, y'all need to buy some gold, but well, silver is what I was buying 2 or 3 years ago when it was only like $20. But now it's like $45 for silver. And I was told, oh, America's never going to lose power. America's money is never going to die. And this is people telling me because we've never experienced this. But I'm looking at them and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, because I'm listening to people that's seeing what's really happening. And by me watching that, I just begin to act accordingly. But so many people are so used to America being this big old powerhouse, but America is sinking fast. And if you guys don't see that and don't understand that by now, I feel sorry for you. If you waiting on churches to tell you, Black folk, they're not, because they don't understand. They don't know. The revelation is not there in these churches. Okay, they see stuff, but they don't preach it. They don't talk about it. It's things that's happening among Black families that the churches aren't even discussing. But it's up to you to listen. Keep your ears open. You got folk that's leaving America that has gone. They're building bunkers. What are they building bunkers for? They're not just building bunkers, but they're buying furniture, buying properties in other areas, like other countries, like Vietnam. I wouldn't go there. I'm just saying. And they're buying land every place else. But Black folk get it. They get it. The end of everything. We're at the end of everything. We never hear stuff when we're supposed to. We get it in the panic mode. We get it at the end, and then we panic, scurrying around trying to see what's what. But then everything is high. Everything is taken. Everything is at a super large price for us because we're not listening in the beginning. We don't listen to white folk. This is something you need to listen to understand when is a good time to get out of America. Some of these folk gone already. Okay, y'all still holding on. Time I'm gonna fight for a country. Well, you can sit here and fight if you want to. I refuse to fight for a country that hate me, and I refuse to fight for a country that's gonna be gone and destroyed anyway. So if you understand in the biblical part of it, you'll understand where we are and you'll understand how the revelation of it. But I'm just saying, y'all can do what you want to do. But my thing is, we have to start looking. Get your passport. If you don't have a passport, get your passport, people. Stop sitting up here. You can't even get out of the country if you need to. Okay, get you a passport, period. So you can go any place and then start visiting these places. Start visiting Costa Rica. I'm just visiting. I like to visit other places, but you already know where I'm going. But let's start visiting other countries to see the opportunities and see land. You can buy land in other countries. People got their taxes. Save your taxes, okay? But start buying some silver. Start reinvesting it. Diversify your money. If you have a 401k, get your money out of those 401ks. You're going to lose everything. Diversify it into silver. I keep telling people this. Have a little bit on side tucked away for you to be able to buy a plane ticket if you have to go somewhere. I ain't talking about a bus ticket. I'm talking about a plane ticket so you can get out of the country. People want to go to other cities and buy land in Colorado with all these white folk and buy land in these other places where, say, oh, it's cheaper. Yeah, it might be cheaper, but look at the culture that you're going to have to face there. Okay. I just choose not to go to white countries, European countries. So my thing is, if I visit, it's gonna, my thing is, I'm gonna continue visiting Africa because I understand what the Africa is the now and what some of these the programs that I've been listening to. I mean, these are expats trying to relocate to Africa, and they have whole teams, and they're building, trying to go there and build. They're going now to buy land, and they're going to be selling land to Black people, and it's not going to be a whole lot of money. But even if you go and you buy some land with the different groups, my thing is, I would not buy a huge container to make these trips. I would go and take my 2 suitcases, take me some money with me, and go and settle when you get there. When you get there, you can buy. You can always buy another car from a connecting country or something. But I would never do a shipping container. I would sell everything I have here and just go. I would never do a shipping container because when you get them shipping containers there, then they cost you up the yin yang. They want, at the ports, they have one fee for them. They have one fee for their people, or if you know somebody, but then they have another fee for African Americans and Chinese and other people that's coming there because they think you have a lot of money. So they'll, actually hold your containers and charge you another $1,500, $1,000 to for those containers, and they know you don't have a choice but to pay those fees. I would never take a container and ship anything to overseas anywhere. I'm just saying that just makes no sense because of it costs so much for a shipping container anyway. Then when you get there, who has an extra $2,000 or $3,000 to get their container out, or $1,500? I've seen it up to $1,500. I'm just saying, who has that extra money to spend on a container? When you spent $2,000 to get it open, and then you got to spend another $1,500 to get it out. But I'm just throwing some stuff out there, you guys, because I'm seeing some stuff coming up, and I'm truly, truly, really wanting to go. I always said 2.5 years, but I think it's going to get really super bad here. You have to really understand why. In order, and people, y'all have to go, you got to look at it spiritually, you guys. You can't always see the surface. Why is it that you see so many times that God is separating the Black folk from the white folk? You have to understand this spiritually. You don't understand it, you'll still think that he's talking about everybody. He is not talking about everybody, but he will but you have to understand, we had that Christian mindset. We were colonized through Christianity here in America, okay? So we think that, our thoughts are all over the place when it comes to what he's really meaning, who he's really talking about. And if you don't understand who you are by now, or you've heard it, but you don't believe it, then shame on you. Because we as Black folk have an issue when people try to tell you that you are the chosen. We have an issue believing that, because we've never believed we were important to anybody, not even the white folks. So we were believing what white folk is telling us. You're trash, you're this, you're disgusting, all of this negative stuff we've always believed, instead of us understanding and getting an understanding for ourselves of who we really are. Why have we been going through what we've been going through in the four corners of the world, and we still don't understand, even though we've read it in the Bibles that you say, oh, white folk wrote. But if they really wrote it, they probably have spent some time rewriting it. But if you really understand, and once you really read it, you understand who and why you've gone through what you're going through. Now you'll understand what's happening now. This will help you to understand. But a lot of people, they refuse to believe who they really are, which Hebrews the Negro has told you. If you've done your research and you've really did the research to understand, and told ministries, this is another ministries have, and they talk about this stuff, okay? But if you still are not opening up your eyes to understand who you are and what's really going on, then you're going to stay here and you're going to be in trouble, okay? But why everybody else is trying to do what they need to do to get out of America, some Black folk are so stuck on staying in America because you've never been anywhere else. But if you go somewhere else, you'll understand, man, it's cool somewhere else, because when you go somewhere else, you're treated like gold. You are treated like a king and a queen that you are by visiting other countries. They don't treat us in other countries how they treat us here. But we want to sit here and we want to just, oh my God, woe is me. I'm tired of woe is me. I've seen how I've been treated in other countries. I've seen how we've been treated. Now I've gone all over and I've seen how we've treated in other countries, and nothing like how we've treated here. So you have to understand that it's okay to visit, but we've gotten to the place where we don't even think we're special enough to call ourselves chosen. We don't even think that we're special enough to God to be his chosen. We don't even think, why do you think we're going through what we're going through? Okay. It's always for a reason, but you have to understand this country has treated people across the country horribly. So and you got to reap what you sown. All this time, it's time for America to reap. And America's not going to be the only. It's going to be a lot of European countries that is going to reap what they've sown. And you have to understand that. But if you, believe what you want to believe, I'm just saying, I'll just put stuff out there. You can take it or leave it or whatever. But I have to help you. I'm trying to help you to understand that there's a reason for everything. Okay. And I think that's just what it is for me right now today. And as I learn stuff or know stuff and pretty much just share it, take it or leave it. And it's not, I'm not trying to change anybody's mind or hearts. I'm just saying, I just put it out there and you do what you want with it. Okay. Because everybody's going to see it different. And I do get it. But my thing is, when I was telling people 2 years ago, hey, invest in silver, they would say, oh, America's strong. The economy is this, that, and the other. And they're not trying to do this, that, and the other. And oh my God. And it was like, oh, okay, no. I shut up about it. I was telling, I'm totally shut up, but I'm just saying, I was telling a few people about it, but the ones that was listening, they went and bought silver. Okay. And they're glad they did. Just like I keep talking about this 401k. You still have a 401k. If you've not converted that thing, to silver that you can actually touch, put your hands on, it doesn't belong to you. Okay. You don't want to invest and use your credit cards. Okay. If you buy silver, use your cash. Don't use your credit cards. That's traceable. You want to do something that's untraceable. You can't trace it. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm just putting stuff out there. But let's get back to the subject. The subject is we're talking about the LGBT and critical race theory. Which one is worse? Which one is worse? People don't understand. They think that, oh, CRT is worse, is bad for us. Okay. Well, LGBT, what is the foundation of the LGBT? The foundation is they're after your children. You can look at America. What other country do you know has books talking about Dave and David or Daniel and Dave having a family? Nobody, no other country teaches their children this garbage but America. Why? Why? It's for a reason, okay? It's for a reason. They are after your children, and we're going to get into stuff. They're getting ready to make, whether you believe it or not, they are going to make pedophilia legal, okay? The next alphabet, the LGBT, it's going to be pedophilia and bestiality. It's coming. People you guys don't understand. You are dealing with some of the nastiest people in the world, and you have to understand, if you know who they are, you know who God called, what he called them, you'll understand that they are called the serpent people. And I'm going to go there today. I don't give a damn if you care or not, if you hear it or not, I don't care. My thing is, you have to understand who you're dealing with. And you remember that movie where the guy put on the glasses and he saw people for what they really were? That's what you can't see today. So we're looking at these folks who's acting crazy, who's treating you, killing you in the street, gunning you down in the street, and you're talking about God said forgive them. He wasn't talking about them. Why would he tell you to forgive people that didn't even ask for your forgiveness, don't even care if you live or die, will shoot you, Jacob Blake, in the back 7 times, and with your children watching? Those are not humans. Those are not people who he's talking about you forgive. He's talking about people that look like you. Hello? If you understand, like, here we go back to this stuff. If you understand who the Bible was talking to, you have to understand the Christian religion kind of Christianized this and tore our minds apart. Okay. So we don't even know who the Bible's talking about. They call you Gentiles. How you going to call me a Gentile? That's another story. I'm not going to get into that. But if you don't understand who they're talking about, then this is why you think that I'm supposed to forgive folk that don't even care nothing about you, who will shoot you in the head, you on the ground, and will come up and walk and shoot you again. You're supposed to forgive him. That 16-year-old, remember the 16-year-old boy that we talked about last week? The old 84-year-old racist, nothing, shot that baby. So we're supposed to forgive him? That's not what he said. That's not, he called them serpent people. He already know what they are. Okay. You have to understand who they are in order to understand what I'm talking about today. A lot of people look and say, oh, Cassie, you're talking racist. Whatever. Why, when I talk about our people, I'm racist? Why, when I talk about what they've done to us, I'm racist? But who did it to who? So shouldn't they be called the racist? But you'll call the people that's calling them out for their stuff racist, right? Give me a break. You can call me whatever you want. Okay. I don't care what you call me. Right now, I'm trying to get something across to my people. So if this is not for you, it's not for you. I understand, because I'm not for everybody. And I do understand that too. So he has certain people that come here to hear the message so that we can move on. Okay. So that I can help you to open up your eyes to understand that we ain't going to get everybody. We're not going to get everybody. I know that. I'm not here for everybody. I am here for the ones that he put in my place, in my, footsteps, or he put certain people around me to learn from, and for them to learn from me. And I understand that, but I'm not going to sit up here and try to, act like what's going on is not going on. They want you to believe that it's not. They want you to believe, well, because we can't reproduce, we're not going to let you reproduce. So I'm going to introduce your boys to dresses. I'm going to introduce your men to dresses. I'm going to feminize your men, but the real strong black men, they want to effeminize them. But the ones that's around here switching, they put them on TV. They want to highlight this. This is dysfunctional, family. This is not who we are. We have to understand that because of their mindsets, that because we mix and mingle with them, because he said evil communication corrupt good manners. He told you not to mix and mingle with them. And if you want to read it, read Deuteronomy 7, and you'll understand he said not to give your children to them. So you mean to tell me because I had a baby with a white woman, I'm just saying, black men, that baby is an Israelite Hebrew baby? It's not. It takes 2 black people, 2 Israelites to make Israelite. Just like you could put a pit bull and a German shepherd together. If I have those 2 dogs have babies, because the dad is a pit bull, does that mean that baby is going to be a pit bull? No, it's a mutt, right? Okay. So when I hear black men talking about, well, I can marry anybody I want to because that's a Hebrew baby because it came from me. No, you just married, you just had a mutt. You had a baby, a biological baby, a mixed race baby that's not black. It's not a black baby because it takes two black people to have a black baby. Okay. Those are mutts. I don't care what you call them. You can get mad because I said if you want to, I don't care. But we have to understand that there is an agenda with them, okay? And the agenda started back 10 years ago. Because Stephen Darby, you have to understand, he was talking about the LGBT and a lot of stuff that he was talking about back in the day is coming to fruition now. Okay, he had a video, and I'm gonna pull that video up, and I want you guys to look at this video. If you guys really want to understand the agenda, look at this video. I'm gonna pull it up now because I was listening to this and I was like, wow, this is what's going on right now. It's called the fires of sodomy they gave a boy for a harlot. Look at that video, and that'll help you to understand what's really going on with, hey honey, that'll help you to understand what the agenda is now. Okay, and you have to understand, if I could not recreate, right, so therefore I'm going to stop you from recreating, okay, procreating, okay. And you have to understand they know who we are. They know because they set up a lot of stuff, okay, in their system. And this is what CRT is coming out about. It's about their system that they've set up against us. And black folks, we are so innocent that we don't even know the dangers. We don't even know the enemies. We don't even know the wheel war. We don't even know that every time you leave the house, you are at risk of one of them harming you because you're so, oh, hey, that's my best friend. And we would be the only one that's asleep. We'll be the only black person at their sleepovers. And we don't even understand that those are not even friends. And we've had a few that have died because they were the only one going hunting with them. Peter Spencer, right? The black guy that went hunting with them didn't even understand the enemy. And it's so hard because them devils, they will stab you in the back and look at you, have the knife in their hand, and will convince you that it was your fault that I had to stab you. That's how they think. We don't think like that. We think everybody loves us because we love everybody, because we was taught by them to love everybody. We would just, okay. But once you understand who the enemy is, you'll understand the agenda right now. And because you can't they can't reproduce, they don't want you to reproduce. So I'm going to teach your child how to love, all of this homosexual. And you have to understand, these are the Romans. Don't do the research of the Romans, who they really were. Those Romans were men that slept with each other. And when they came back home, they made it with their wives, had the babies, and went back out there and would sleep with their buddies. That's the Roman cultures, okay? Look up the Roman history for you to understand what's going on now. These devils have always been dysfunctional. They've always slept with their dogs. They've always slept with their kids. They've always slept with each other, men, okay? Even in slavery wasn't about anything but sex. These are nasty, diabolical people, okay? And it was all about sex because they would sleep with the boys. Yes, they slept with the men too, in front of the women. So what do you think all of this stuff is going on with black people? You have to understand, back in slavery, it starts all the way back there because these black men could not do anything to protect their women. So you have to understand, you think animosity didn't start back in them days when they were sleeping, say for instance, Erica, help me out here. Okay, you're in the slavery days. Okay, say for instance, me and my husband, I'm married, right? And Massa come in and take me off to the woods and have sex with me. Do you not think that my husband is going to feel a certain kind of way when I come back? Yes, he might, you don't think he's going to feel that a certain type of way against me and then you don't think that I'm going to feel a certain type of way against him because you couldn't protect me. He's going to think, well, I couldn't protect her. So now I'm mad at her, but he's really mad at himself. See what's going on right now, you guys. Come on here. Help me to understand this. This stuff never stopped. It went on from generation to generation. And now, even though the black men, yes, they're our husband, but a lot of times white folks still do stuff on these jobs, right? To make our men feel like this. And they do stuff on purpose. They'll fire our men and drop a hat just like that. But they folk can do whatever. They can act a fool on the job, do whatever, talk any kind of way, talk crazy to you. They'll keep their jobs forever, but let a black man raise his voice and you're going to get, even our kids in school, they'll get suspended, right? You have to understand what's going on even now. The bigger picture, it never stopped from 400 years when those devils came in and was taking the women, taking them off to the woods having sex with them, and knowing that they were married to so and so over here. But then you turn around and she get pregnant by her husband. He knows about it, then come in and take the baby and sell the baby off. Do you understand what it does to your psyche? And it's passed down. Trauma is passed down from generation to generation. We're dealing with a whole lot of trauma, 400 years worth of trauma. And then you look at Black folks and say, why y'all act the way y'all act? What the hell are you talking about? This is almost like an abusive relationship. We've been in an abusive relationship since forever. It's hard to break free of that mentally if it still keeps going on. You can't heal from something that's still going on. A sword can't heal if you keep plucking the scab off every time a scab come on. That thing will be infected, right? That's what you're seeing right now. The scab has been pulled off over and over and over, and the infection is just spread throughout generation to generation to generation. Now you got Black men that don't even want to look at a Black woman. You think that wasn't on purpose? God, they know what they've done. They've been doing it since Willie Lynch. And Willie Lynch is so real. You can look at it today. Them crackers will tell you it's not true. Look for they'll tell you something that you see in your face every day, and they'll tell you it ain't true. What you mean it ain't true? I'm looking at it. I see it every day. I see pastors now marrying these white women. You got a white woman over a congregation. You a Black man. You a Black pastor. Deuteronomy 7. I wish somebody would pull it. If I had my Bible, I'll pull it up. Oh, I'm going to call my husband in here a minute. I want to pull it up because you guys don't understand. He told you not to mix and mingle with them because he told you if you mix and mingle with them, they're going to change your heart for me. That's why he said don't even give your children to them, right? But we got pastors mixing and mingling with these devils. This is how confused these pastors are in the churches. You got them mixing and mingling, putting white women on top of their congregation. You got Black women sitting under these white women, Jezebel spirits, okay? These demon women. You didn't mix and mingle. You didn't marry Satan, bought her in your church. Now you think your church is going to be on fire. You about the biggest dummy ever. You about the biggest fool ever. And you think I would sit up under that? The devil said, I'm not sitting under nobody that don't even like themselves. These Black men, these pastors, and these white women don't even like Black folk. But you got a whole congregation full of Black women, Black folk that you don't even have nothing to do with your own, right? But you just run in the church and you done bought a whole Black woman, a white woman, to be over these Black women. You got to be crazy. And you crazy for sitting there. Because I'm going to tell you what, if I was in the church and my pastor brought in a white woman to be on top of me, I'm leaving because I understand the hate that he has for himself, the hate he has for his own people, the hate he has for himself. Why do you think they don't want you to understand critical race theory? Because it's the system. Everything they've set up for Black people is for your death. Do you understand that? We can't even understand that. And we can see it every day. And we be tripping, thinking we tripping because them devils don't like you. And they show you and they tell you every single day, but we still won't believe it because they smile in your face. But all the time they want to take your place. The backstabbers. Remember that song? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I'm on fire today. Don't play with me. Yes, it's all connected to critical race theory. Why these devils don't want you to understand your history and why it's so imperative right now that we educate our own children because they're telling you that Black folks were slaves. We were servants. We came over here on our own. What did they say? They're taking that away from you. They're taking your history away from you, but they don't touch the Holocaust, do you? Them devils don't never tell you the Holocaust they never talk about the Holocaust, do you? Did they tell them to get over the Holocaust? To the now. But they'll tell you to get over this bit. What did the Indian man say to Don Lemon that got fired because of the Indian man? That's the only reason Don Lemon got fired was because of that Indian man, because he challenged that Indian man. Did y'all see what the Indian man said? And Don Lemon that was the only time when Don Lemon has ever spoke up for Black people, and that was probably because he had a bad day with his boyfriend, Don Lemon. He didn't speak up for Black people because he wanted to. He was speaking up for Black. He spoke up that day because he was having a bad day with his boyfriend. Don't get it twisted. Don Lemon ain't never put his neck on the line for Black folk. He was already pissed off that day, and they just had enough. But I'm gonna tell you what, Black folk, y'all better wake up real quick, because what you getting ready to encounter now. Because you got DeSantis making all kind of rules and stuff down in Florida. He got all kind of stuff coming. That ain't nothing but the devil himself. That's the devil's seed. All of them. And if y'all could really see what I see with them folk, I don't trust none of them. People say, it's some good ones. I ain't met none. Have you met any good white folk? I ain't never met none. Not a one. People say, Cassie, all of them. Make a mad and get, just like somebody said, oh, I've seen a good witch. Make a good witch mad and see what happened to you. The same thing a bad one would do to you, curse you, right? Okay, so is that really a good witch? or she just friendly for that day. Okay, y'all better wake up. But we're gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna read y'all comments. I don't want to get off focus. That's why I don't read comments, because I can't read the comments and stay focused. Could have stopped white men from what? Hold on, Erica. Please don't tell me that you have black men now saying the woman slave could have stopped the white man from raping her. Well, why didn't he stop him? If I'm supposed to be your woman, why you didn't stop him? Why should I, being the woman, stop him? Why should I? It was your job. Because God, let me tell y'all something about the, let me tell you something about the man. Black men gonna be held accountable. Because he put black men on at the head, right? He put black men the head of the family. This is why the family is so out of order, because the black man has moved out of his space, chasing all kind of strange women, right? So when your head is out of order, your whole body is out of order. So when the black man put his head back on, get back in order, the whole family will line up. So guess whose responsibility it is, black men, to keep his family intact? But we want to follow white women. You know what? My husband was watching the sports. They was, what is this? They was like picking drafts. I think the draft. I don't watch sports, so y'all forgive me. Pro Black, welcome, you guys. Welcome. My husband was watching. Wow, Williams, welcome. My husband was watching the draft pick, right? One young man came on. He was a big dude, and already he had a white woman, right? And I said, wow. I said, that white woman didn't, they teach their girls early. White folk teach their girls, because they cannot get a rich white man, they'll come and get the rich black man. Yes, the NFL draft. Thank you. I don't watch football. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. But you have to understand, these white women teach their daughters young. They recognize the black men in our area that's going to be millionaires. That's going to be millionaires. They set them out before they're set up to be millionaires. They set their eyes on them either in high school, because a lot of times it starts in high school, right? They'll get them in high school and they're stars on the track team or stars on the football team, stars on the basketball team, and they stick with them like glue. And they'll be with the men for the next 20 years, right? Look at Dre. Okay, I don't know what Dre was doing. You remember the man, Dr. Dre? Then his woman, he was with her for 25 years. Now she's taking half, right? Even though they signed a prenuptial, it doesn't matter. When you're right, it doesn't matter. But who was that white black woman that married to the white man who the judge didn't even get her half? They were married for, like 35 years. And it was a white guy. I cannot remember. I can know I see his face, but I don't remember his name. But I don't know why that was unmuted. But she had divorced him, but they had remarried, but they had ended up getting divorced, and the judge didn't even give her half. Okay, I cannot remember his name. I want to say the guy that played on Lord have mercy. Oh God, I can't even remember the movie. But anyway, I'm just trying to prove a point. With this draft guy, he had already had a white woman, right? Oh, she already got a clause in, But this is how they teach their daughters. Now, we as black women don't teach our daughters that. We teach them to wait and see until after they're done. Then they go after them then. And we need to start teaching our daughters how to recognize, not just marrying them for money. And then remember, who was that? They just told. I seen a girl. She was black, and they called her a gold digger, right? Because she had married a white man, and he, had a really good job, and he was, called her a bit when she called her all kind of stuff. But then when we white women marrying these NFL drafts, I never hear black folk calling them gold diggers. I never hear them calling saying that these white women are anything but, I never hear. We don't give them the same kind of heat they give us, right? But we give each other the most problems. We would tear each other down, and it just makes no sense. But you have to understand where it's coming from. It's so deep. This whole is so deep, family, that if we really understood the power of manipulation and the power and of trauma and all of what we've gone through here in America, we will understand seriously what is going on now. But we'll blame each other. And we always do that. We'll give them a pass, but we'll hold each other accountable, and we'll treat each other like dirt. But then when it comes to them, we go silent. We won't say nothing, because we love white folk. We love massa. I wouldn't dare say that to massa. I wouldn't dare treat massa the any kind of way, but like a god, right? because they got you believing that they're gods anyway. But when they really see the real God, we're gonna really find out if they really for black folk or not. Because when they see the God that we know who looks like us, we're gonna see who really oh man, we're gonna really see who's really for us and who's not. But let's go ahead and get on this. Let me just share my screen because I just want us to talk a little bit about this critical race theory thing. I want us to understand what's really going on here. And a lot of us don't understand the agenda. We're going to talk about this LGBT. I'm going to tie it in together so that we'll have to understand, we'll begin to understand what is going on. Let me see. Gotta find it, you guys. Hold on. Is this the one I want? This is the one I want. I think I got it. Hold on. Let me make sure that I'm over here. I want to make sure. Hold on. Lordy. Okay. I need to pull me up so I can see if I'm on there or not. Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure that I got it up. Because this is so important to really understand what's really going on and why is it going on the way it's going on. I'm trying to see. Did I do it right? Because y'all not seeing me up there. What's going on? Hold on. Oh, shoot. I need this. Okay, here it is. But it's not letting me share it. Hold on. Why? Okay, here it is. This is what I need to do first. Y'all know every time I have to do this, this is not my gift, y'all. I keep telling y'all that. This is not my gift. Y'all bear with me. Okay. Y'all see my screen? Let me know. Y'all see my screen? I don't know. Okay, I think you guys. This is the dangerous LGBT, the trajectory that we have been warning about. Okay, you have to understand that it's all connected, you guys. All of it's connected. Okay. Thank you, forecast. They said I recently explained that as much as I could, sympathetic to the goals of gay America who feel that they are simply fighting for equality and freedom. Are they really fighting for equality and freedom? Okay. They are really wanting this world to just be so dysfunctional. And the more dysfunctional it is, the happier they are. You have to understand and I read a thing where I saw this transgender girl, whatever, and she was so upset because she showed this basket of medication that she said that nobody talks about the sicknesses and nobody talks about the health problems. Nobody talks about the medication that she needs to take for the rest of her life because she switched over her sex and cut off his whatever, I don't even know what to call it, cut off his thing, right? He cut off his penis, right? And now in order for him to be a her, which is so dumb. He has, I guess, to grow boobs, he had to take the medication to grow the boobs. Then he had to take the medication for this part and the medication. He had like a basket full of medication that he will be on for the rest of his life. Who wants to take 30 pills for the rest of their lives in order to maintain something that's so dysfunctional? But they're not talking about that. They're not talking about how many of our youth, after they change their sexes, they wish they hadn't. And for Dwayne Wade to even be one of their spokesperson, you're going to use your son, right? Who was pretty much, let's get back to this. Dwayne Wade's son was normal up until 9. He had a gay nanny, right? Listen, you got to do your research on this. He had a gay nanny, white boy, that he left with his son. What do you think happened? That boy was normal up until 9, right? All of a sudden, his boy started dressing and acting like the nanny, right? You have to do your research, family. So now, be very careful who you're allowing to watch your children, right? He gone, the mama gone, this nanny why would you hire a gay nanny to be over your son anyway? Does that make sense to you? This is how stupid we are as a black people. I'm serious. You think I will sit up there and hire a gay nanny to look over after my son? He's sitting up here switching around, and I'm gonna involve him in my son's life, and I'm gonna be off about doing whatever. His mama not there, and I'm gonna leave this gay nanny with my baby, with my child. Are you out of your damn mind? What's wrong with you? That's just not normal. That's just not normal thinking right there. Anyway, so now all of a sudden we have this little boy, right? Which is still a boy, who's got a purse. He's got his little pink on, whatever. Okay. I remember time back in the day, not that far back in the day, a black parent was a boy, come in. And the daddy would have handled that, right? He would have, okay, we would have handled that. That's not something black folk do. That's dysfunctional for us. That's functional for white folk. That's dysfunctional. But evil communication, corrupt good manners. He told you, come from among, be ye separate and learn not, right? But we did everything the opposite, thinking that he didn't know what he's talking about. God, you don't know what you're talking about. There ain't nothing wrong with them people. We're going to come together with them. We're going to mix him in with them. We're going to love and we're going to marry with them and we're going to procreate with them. Okay. He told you not to, but you did the opposite. So this is why black people are still going through what we're going through, right? This is just amongst one of the reasons why. Okay. So now we think we know better than him. So now we're going to mix and mingle. So everything you're seeing now, okay, you're seeing a lot of dysfunctional stuff among black people that we wouldn't ordinarily have saw. Okay. We didn't see stuff like this. We didn't see school shootings come think back in the day. When did we start seeing school shootings? When their children start doing it. Then what we do? Oh, we start bringing guns to school. Oh, now it's a black issue. But their kids were shooting up the damn schools first. Remember way back in the day when, who was that came and him and his dad blew up a federal building back in 1982 or something like this. Go way back. They since died now because they got the death penalty. They just, I think in 2020, I want maybe 5 years ago, the boy died, right? Was executed, what? But this was in 1982. They came in and they blew up a federal building, right? But nobody said anything. Everything was cool, But that's when we first started seeing it. Was when that started, and a whole bunch of children got killed, right? That's when I first saw it. Then you had little other stuff that was happening. Black folk, we still wasn't bringing guns to school. We still wasn't killing each other. But the more you sacrifice, the more you give your children over to them, which they celebrate and they serve Moloch. Look up Moloch. You'll understand why our children act the way they act. Because every day you're giving your children over to Moloch. You're sacrificing our children, putting them in their system, and they worship Moloch. So guess what you're worshiping? Whether you understand it or not, you are sacrificing every day your own child by taking them into their school system, because their school system told you couldn't serve God, told you couldn't even read the Bible, but they got satanic clubs in those schools now. Okay. They got churches, satanic churches attached to schools. So they have services after school in those buildings. So every day you're sacrificing your child by sending them into their schools. You're sending them into their temples, and then wonder why your child acting crazy. I'm going to leave that there for a minute. Let's think about that. But you want me to pray for our children? What am I praying for our children for when you won't even have the decency to think about getting your children out of their schools? You won't even have the decency to be uncomfortable to pay $100 a week, maybe. You pay $100 anyway on anything else you want, but you won't pay it for your children. Let's just think about this. We're so crazy. We go and work on their jobs every day, right? But then you know how they treat you. But you'll sit up there and sacrifice your child and give them to them every day. Now, every day I hear something about our children in their schools, what our children are going through. Right? Every day I hear something. Every day. I just heard one in Indiana. How these two teachers made this child clean up his throw up. He just don't throw up or something? Was it something like that? I'm just saying. But we do nothing. When stupid stuff like that happen, you can't blame nobody right now but yourself. All this crazy stuff is going on. And we don't even have the decency to pull our children away. And don't ask me why. I have no idea. I don't know why. But we still allow them to watch our children every day. We'll give them our children every day. These are the two women. I just want you to see something. Hold on. I want you to see something. I'm going to show you two women. I just want to show you. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see.
Life skills teacher for children with disability. And the other woman is instructional aid, instructing a 7-year-old student in a life skills program to eat and clean up his own vomit, police said.
Okay, I just want you to see that. You see what I'm saying? Hold on. I don't know if you guys, I hope you guys can see this. I hope you can, because I usually can see you guys and I can't. I don't know why I can't see you guys today. I know I'm sharing. Okay, I'm sharing, but usually I can see it, but I can't today. I don't know why. But I want you guys to understand what's going on. We don't even understand. We allow them, we give them our children every single day, right? We don't have the love for our own children, because when we show love, and it comes back to slavery, because when we show love back in the day to our children, okay, what they do to be mean to you, they would sell your child, right? So we had to be very mean to our children, okay? We had to treat them very hard, and we had to literally destroy our children's self-esteem in front of massa so that they wouldn't sell our babies, right? So this is where you see all of these parents. Sometimes you'll see white parents and they're bragging on their children, and what do you hear black people say? But my son is blah blah blah. It's always negative. You have to understand where that comes from. We love our children, but we don't love them so much in front of white folk, because passed down traumas from 400 years of trauma. You have to understand that DNA trauma is passed down in our DNA. No matter what, you could not experience something, but still you'll see it and feel, oh my God, where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that comes from? That's in your DNA. Something down the line before happened. That's a trigger. And we don't even know why we're being triggered sometimes. But we're being triggered because of our DNA. Okay? But that's the story for another day. I'm not even going to go there. But these people, this is who we would allow our children. This is who you allow to watch your children, because we'll trust them. I live close to like a charter school, right? It's white. And the other day I was just sitting out there and I was just watching to see how many black students was in this charter school. And you know, we seem to tend to think that because they white, everything is right, right? And I'm looking at all these black kids, and I'm looking at this one little boy, and he's by himself. He's black, dark skinned black. And he's by staying in a corner. All these kids just playing. He's over in the corner. He's playing by himself. No friends, nobody to play with. But does his mom know the harm she's putting on her child every day in this white school? She thinks because it's white is right. But your child is being abused every day. I remember I used to live in Arizona this years back, and I had just moved there, and I had taken my girls to a daycare, right? And I used to go there and get off early, and I would drop them off. And you never knew my schedule because I would always pop in, right? So one day I went and I got there, and there was this little black boy, and they was always picking on him, right? And I was like, what? But I would see him in the corner. And I looked one time and I asked my daughters, I said, why am I seeing little whatever his name? Why is he in the corner all the time? They said, Mommy, they be picking them white kids, be picking with him, and then he don't say nothing. Then as soon as he hit them back, they put him in the corner. I said, well, they don't do nothing to the white kids. They said, no, my kids was telling me that. So they saw this, right? So I never could catch his mom, because I don't know if she even knew. I don't know, maybe after the school, whatever would happen, maybe they put him out the corner just because they knew what time his mom was coming. But do you not know, what do we know about the history, or what did that trauma cause that little baby? What kind of person is he today? What kind of stuff is he feeling or going through today because he was traumatized years back when his mom didn't even know it? So we allow our children to go through hell with these little white racist brats. Because I'm going to tell you what, their children are horrible. My daughter went to Denver University. I have to give this story. My baby. She went to Denver University, which was, she picked the school. We even went 80,000. It was private university, 80,000. I didn't understand what I know now. 80,000. I had one that went to HBCU. Okay. And then I had one that went to a white college, Denver University private college, $80,000 every quarter, which 2 quarters, $160,000 a year, right? Listen, but my daughter got all these scholarships, and I talked to financial aid, got all this money for her, right? They needed some Black students, right? They're right, worst thing ever, right? So my daughter will call me, and first semester she wanted to leave. I said, well, give it another year, give it another semester, and you want to leave because I didn't know if it was because she was away from home, and I wanted her to adjust. Kids have to adjust, but I'm telling you what, my daughter went through hell in that school. Them white kids was something else, okay? But she began to understand, began to learn how to handle white schools, white students, but I was calling security every day because I was coming. I would threaten them. Let my baby get hurt there. I'm coming. Oh, I told them. What's your name? I got their name. I wrote it down because I'm coming. Let something happen to her. I said, you better get over to that dorm right now, and you better go and see what's going on because I couldn't get to her. And I'm telling you, I was calling, But I'm gonna tell you what, my daughter went through something up in that school, and I would not. If I had understood and I have known, I would have put her in the HBCU. Okay, because my daughter that went to one, I could see the difference. Okay, I could see but you have to understand, my baby that went to the white school, she understands white people more. Okay, because she understands how they operate. She understood, you understand what I'm saying? So she learned a little more, but not saying that my oldest didn't, because she went to. So they talked about the issues. They talked about it, so she got it too. But my baby experienced it firsthand. You know what I'm saying? So I think they both got it, but they both got the experience a different way. I'd rather read about it and be able to recognize it than to actually go through it. So I understand what my oldest goes through, but she works for corporate, so she knows how to handle them better. Okay. But that's a story for another day. Okay. Forecast. I'm just saying, I can see the difference in the difference in, but I'm telling you, I had to fight for her. Even though I was here, I was calling. They understood what kind of parent I was. You know what I'm saying? I went, hey, I'm calling her. I'm calling them. It was, but she went 2 years. She did. She went 2 years, came out with a bachelor's in 2 years. That's my brain. That's why she got in there, scholarships and all this stuff. It was just crazy. Okay. But it was just, she went through a rough time, right? And then the second semester, the summertime, or just before the summer, when the second semester ended, the boy that was really giving her a hard time, he got kicked out. I was so glad. And everything kind of, because he was a ringleader. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you got a parent like me, he couldn't do nothing but come out of that school, because he was traumatizing my child, right? He had to go, right? But I'm gonna tell you what, sometimes God seems to move and he knows what to do. Okay, that boy got kicked out of that school because he was, bringing drugs and all this stuff, but he ended up getting kicked out. But then that's next year, it was perfect. It was no problem because he was a ringleader, right? So it was, it was okay. I'm not going to say it was good, but it was some good training, okay? So let's finish reading this. So I explained recently that as much as I am sympathetic to the goals of gay Americans who feel that they are simply fighting for equality and freedom, I cannot support those goals for two reasons. The first is biblical same-sex relationships in this gender variation violates God's best plan for humanity, okay, which is all about genocide. And that's why they went to Africa with this LGBT, because they know Africa's the youngest. Africa is having babies like crazy. And how else do I stop Africa in their tracks than to introduce them to LGBT? Okay. The next thing, they're going to try to get a leader in there that's LGBT. They working on that, trust me. But I'm going to tell you what, them people over there ain't playing that, because they will get that leader over there and, it's just different. Okay. They ain't playing that. They'll tell you, we're not playing with that LGBT. Y'all keep that stuff over there. You have a lot of countries, Uganda and people in Kenya, they said we're not doing the LGBT stuff. So the second is a socialist. When we look at the trajectory of LGBT plus activism, we see that it ends up going in a very dangerous and destructive direction. Okay. Recently, a man who I identified as a woman, look at this, shocked patrons at a local spa when he exposed himself to the woman and girls there. This led to protests condemning his behavior as well as defending his rights. Okay. So so is it wrong or not? So you have one saying they're protesting, condemning his behavior. Then you have another group defending his rights. What kind of rights do you have? When is enough enough? Okay. With one protest turning violent, thanks to the presence of Antifa. Okay, Antifa gonna always do some stuff, right? Antifa did a whole lot doing the Black Lives Matter thing, right? A lot of that burning down was Antifa. Okay, you do research on Antifa, you'll understand who Antifa is. Okay, anyway, it wasn't about Antifa caring about Black people. Okay, Antifa was trying to egg on some other stuff. You have to understand, white folk. Don't think that when they join you that they're defending you or standing up for you. They're not. They got another agenda. They always have another agenda. And that's what we don't understand. We don't understand the enemy and understand because we think, oh, they joining us. They care. They don't give a damn about y'all Black folk. They don't care. It's always another agenda. But come on, let's read. To be sure, there was many in the LGBT community who were appalled, saying that is not what they stand for. But have you noticed that when Black folk, LGBTs and transgender die, they never come forth with support the Black people, do they? But Black folk will always come and support. Remember when Dave Chappelle had said what he said about the gays, the white LGBT, it was more Black people coming against him that were LGBT than the whites, right? They put the Black folk up against it to defend it more so than them. But the white folk, when they came and got fired, because it was a few Black folk that got fired for this LGBT standing against Dave Chappelle, right? Because they did something with Netflix, right, and got caught and got fired. Did they stand up for them when they got fired? No, they didn't. They was on their own, right? But see, we always do this, though. We always come against our own for somebody else. No matter what, we always gonna come against our own for them, right? Make it make sense now. Make it make sense. I can't. So, to be sure that there is an LGBT many. Wait a minute. To be sure, there were many in the LGBT community who appealed, saying that it is not what they stand for. Okay. The report on Fox, whoever Timmy, a member of LGBT community herself, told Tucker Carlson on Monday that the exchange was troubling to many of her transgender fans who found the individual behavior offensive. Okay, but they're not stopping it. They're not defending it. They're not stopping it. They still, it's almost like it's an individual, it's not something that they put light on, right? Because a lot of these people, I remember one guy, he went to jail, right? And he was, saying that wanted to, they put him in with the men. No, hold on. They put him in with the women, right? And do you not know a lot of women came up pregnant by him, right? So was he really transgender, or was he really saying that because he didn't want to go in the men's unit? I think he was just saying that because he didn't want to go into the men's unit because he knew what was going to happen to him on the men's unit, right? So he went in there and got in with the women, and boy, the women was having a freaking good time, okay? I think he had like about four, if I'm not mistaken, 4 women got pregnant by him in the jail. So they finally transferred him out and put him into a men's unit. But when do we get to the place where we're not allowing a man to become Woman of the Year? This is America, right? But it's all connected. It's all connected. It's all connected to CRT, LGBT. Which one? What's going on? Which one? Which one is more harmful? I'm coming back to that question. Which one is more harmful? We're going to do this, but we're going to also get into the CRT a little bit more to understand which one is really more dangerous. Is CRT just something that white folk just don't want to discuss, but it's really something that should be discussed? It's time to be discussed. And it's something that they don't want to discuss because why? Because things will be exposed, right? And we'll find out the connection and what's really going on. But let's keep going. My concern here is that the average transgender person and I have perhaps more transgender friends than some of the people watching the program. They are appalled, Bruce said. So the trajectory of which I am speaking is not that there is speaking is not that there will suddenly be an epidemic of biological males who claim to be females exposing themselves to women. Sadly, that has happened in the past, and it's not another reason why biological males should have access to the women's bathroom and locker rooms as and the like. Okay, the trajectory is which I speak is the trajectory, the social madness results of headlines like this from the Daily Mail. Violent clashes break out in LA because of rival protesters. After viral videos show customers complaining about transgender women exposing their penises to children. Okay, so are those really transgender women? Are they really? How do you know for sure? This is what we see. You got all kind of stuff. When they transgender women, if they were really transgender women, would they really be exposing themselves to children? You have to, here we come back to this pedophilia stuff, okay? So my thing is, we're going to start seeing more and more pedophilia coming out, because you got groups called talking about men to boys or something like that, men loving boys or something. These are actual groups now coming out, okay? But you have to understand the bigger picture, what is the real connection here? Let's go. Let's go. Just look at the 4 words phrase, women exposing their penises. Listen now, women, how is this? Oh Lord, how is this a phrase when you're talking about women? Women don't have, I don't have a penis. I'm just saying. So is that, so in America, we want to label men with penises women. We want to give men with penises who dress like women because they got mental illness going on. Jenner, for instance, who spent his whole life, I think he turned gay at like 50 or something, now dresses up like a whole woman. That is mental illness. These little diabolical people are out of their minds. Okay, this is mental illness at its finest. So you don't think that we are the only ones dealing with stuff, okay, traumas. Let's go back with them. Anytime you have your family or your father took you on a Klan ride and allowed you to watch your granddaddy hanging up a black person, burning alive, screaming for his whole life, do you understand that that's trauma? Do you understand that trauma that they've also experienced, right? Generational traumas. Even today, we have the same hangings happening. They have, who was that in Florida that drugged that black man? Was it Browning, Florida, that drug a black man? Okay, you have to understand. You think that wasn't trauma passed down? How do you get to that place where you are literally dragging a human person behind your truck and don't see nothing wrong with it? What is that called? You understand what I'm saying? So it's passed down from generation to generation, but we still want to look at them as normal. Why would they be normal? Look at what they've done. How is that normal? Look at how they treated some of the stuff you've seen in Roots. That's just a little piece of it. You have no idea what really trauma that our ancestors went through dealing with them. Pulling the person's teeth out of his mouth with no antiseptic for George Washington, because he had their teeth in his mouth. You got somebody else's human teeth in your mouth. That's how nasty they are. But I'm just saying, don't you think that was trauma for you to have your teeth pulled with no anesthetic? All of them. Can you imagine how that person, what he went through? You have to understand, these people treated their slaves worse. Some of the stuff that they did to them, they wouldn't even do to their dogs today. That they actually have a crime now. That if you treat a dog like that, you go to jail. But if you treated a black person like that, nothing would happen. You guys have to understand where we're going now. Okay, look, yeah. Pro-black. You don't think they was traumatized? And I'm not taking up for them. I'm just trying to help you to understand what we're dealing with today. Okay? So you mean to tell me, if you, being the man that you are, being, say for instance, you were 10, and you went out to with the cake, just say you're a white little boy, okay? So you went out with your dad and you saw him hang a black man and set him on fire. Would you not be traumatized? Tell me that. Would you not be traumatized? I'm not taking up for them. I'm trying to show you something by what I'm saying, okay? You have to understand what's really going on here. I'm waiting on you to answer me. But I'm gonna move forward. Why? Because I don't want to go through this one. I want to also touch on one more. I want to touch on this. Let me see how much more of this. Okay, just look at this forward. Okay, so look at this. Women exposing their penises. And yes, never forget that he did this in the presence of girls, little kids. Okay. What kind of madness is this? Listen to this. A woman does not have a penis, for one. Yes. We need to remind people of this. Why do we have to remind people of this fact? That you have to understand what America's doing. Let's see. See, he didn't get the point. Okay. But anyway, so a woman does not have a penis, okay? But I want you to see where America's going with this. For you to sit up here and call, they're trying to reverse everything, okay? So for you to sit up here and say, oh, Bruce Jenner won Woman of the Year, okay? He's a whole man with a penis. This is how disgusting their mindset is. This is what they're doing, even with our children now in schools. What are they doing? They are totally changing the trajectory as far as education when it comes to our children. Okay, you have a whole school in Chicago with LGBT in it, and they're a school full of them. And I learned this by a person that her and I were talking about this school because she's wanting to join Ram in the Bush, right? We were talking about it, and she was telling me about a school in Chicago. She lives in Chicago because I've been trying to partner up with Chicago schools in Chicago. And she actually has, hold on, you guys. I'm see. I'm smelling something. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got to check something. Hold on. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I was cooking something and I smelled it. I thought my husband was in there, but he out in the garage. So I had to go turn it off. I was want to burn my food. Okay. Listen. Okay. So, sorry, y'all. I ran in there, ran back. I'm out of shit. Okay. So let's get back to this. So a woman does not have a penis. This is what I'm trying to show you. It's all connected. Okay. So when you have a country that's turning around and saying, hey, women now have penises, okay? We all know what it's all about, right? And this is what I'm trying to show you. A woman does not have a penis. Yes, we need to remind people of that. Why do you have to remind people of that fact? Okay, this should be already something that we already know. So why are we calling them women again? Okay, and a single woman is not described by the possessive pronoun there. I know what all that pronoun. I don't even get into that pronoun stuff. Some of the absurdities and outrageousness of this, which situations would have been underscored by using correct grammar, hence women exposing her penis. This is totally crazy. Remember the realities of biology, but using the generic transgender, they are only heightened the ridiculousness of the sentence. But you have to understand, if you understand what they're really doing, you'll understand the dysfunctional behavior of all of this, right? And you have to understand where they're going with it. Why are we starting here? And why are we saying, oh, instead of saying, oh, he showed his penis, you're saying, oh, that woman showed. You understand the trajectory here that's being presented. I want to still go into, hold on, I'm trying to see what's there. I'm trying to say that wasn't, okay. Okay, that's not okay. I'm done with that part for now. I want to go over here and I want to show you this part. Okay, read the title. Okay, let's read the title. Okay, the LGBT agenda has been front and center during Pride Month in June. The American Family Association, okay, about the concerted effort to normalize homosexuality, same-sex marriage, and the transgender lifestyle to the country's youngest citizens. Okay, I want us to understand which is worse. It's CRT worse than LGBT. Which one is really worse? Okay. America's going to tell you, oh my God, we're making all these laws to ban CRT, but we're okay with the transgender LGBT agenda, okay, to traumatize further our children, to teach our children dysfunction, and we're okay with it. But you have parents that's jumping on this black parents that's jumping on CRT bandwagon, telling you how bad CRT is and how bad it is to teach our children, right? Okay, but they're not saying anything about this LGBT. Why? Why is it okay for our children to learn the LGBT but not the CRT? Let's talk. We're gonna talk about this. I keep telling you, parents beware, said AFA president. The LGBT social political agenda is out there. We all see it. And I had an agenda. I was trying to show you. I had a writing. I can't even find it. They've changed it. Can't even get into it. They've taken it down. It was a website, right, that was showing you. And if I could find that agenda, I wish I could find it. It was talking about the LGBT agenda with our straight men and our boys and how they were after our boys and how they were after straight men. This is why they're not telling. This is why a lot of those transgender women are coming up dead, because they're not even telling men that don't deal with men like that. You know, they're not gay at all. And then they'll have sex with these, because sometimes you can't tell, right? If they had their surgery, you really can't tell unless they tell you. Then they tell you and then they die, because real men are not gay. They don't want to have sex with a transgender woman. They rather have sex with a real woman, okay? They don't go there if they don't go there. But a lot of these transgender women are not telling these men. That's why they're coming up dead, because they're actually tricking these men into having sex with them, okay? So let's keep talking about it. So which agenda is worse? Well, we all see it every day, but it's a tragic. But it is targeting our children and teenagers, and the agenda is being promoted in the mainstream popular culture. These recruiting efforts are aimed at children and teenagers because they are impressionable. Many adults may not change their minds on the issue. So the agenda is being pushed through previously unconventional names such as kids' television programming, clothing, shoes, teen magazines, blockbuster movies, and even public libraries. So you have to understand, in order for me to change a culture, I start with the children. You have to understand why it was so damaging and so dangerous for us to allow enemies who didn't like you to educate your children. Look at your school system. You have to understand, a lot of our schools aren't even accredited, you guys. But we have found it okay to allow them and still today to continue allowing them, even though we see that half of our children can't even think for themselves. The criminal activity is just crazy. Okay, the mindset is just off the chain, and we blaming our children we blaming our black children for the way they acted, when you every day allow them into the lion's den and they have to come out fighting. They have to fight all while they're there. And then they come out and have to fight in the streets. And then they have to come home. Parents aren't even there to protect them. So they still fighting. Okay. Because parents are working 12-hour days. I've known parents with 3 jobs. When are you home? Well, I get they got a home. I'm providing a home. Well, okay, and food, but you're not doing what you were put on this earth to do, and that's to direct, lead, and guide your children. You're not doing that. You're leaving it up to everybody else to lead and guide your children except you. So then you look at your child and say, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that? Where are you? What's wrong with you? So we're actually blaming our children for the way that they're acting. Do we understand this? Are we understand any of what I'm saying? I hope I'm breaking this thing down to you guys. I hope you're getting it. So let's talk about it. So these recruiting officers are aiming at children and teens because they are impressionable. Okay, I read that already. Hold on, let me find out where I was. Okay, leaders and advocates of this agenda have been thinking ahead for many years, ultimately working towards the end game of having young people eventually vote for pro-LGBT policies at the ballot boxes. And they're doing that now, right? Because you have people that are like my daughter's age, what is that, 30, 29, 30, who are able to vote, right? You have 18-year-olds who are able to vote now. So what? Look, Peter Buttigieg, he's in there. Transportation. A lot of people who Biden have in office right now are LGBT, right? Pete Buttigieg, right? He's in there. He was over he was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, who couldn't even run South Bend, Indiana, right? He had a lot of issues with police in South Bend, Indiana, and was going back to back. I mean, verbally with South Bend residents, right? I remember seeing it back in the day before he got into the transportation where he is now with Biden, that they was getting right. They was like going back and forth with him because his police officers had did something in South Bend, Indiana. And I mean, those voters was like ready to kick him out, right? They didn't even want him there. He couldn't even run a city. He was mayor, and all kind of stuff was going on under his watch. He didn't care about them black folk there. He told the one woman, he said, "I don't need your vote," which he didn't. And he actually told the black woman there, "I don't need your vote," because he already knew he had his foot in the game, because he knew that him being LGBT was what America's looking for, what Biden was looking for, what Washington is looking for. He already knew that. So he knew he didn't need that black woman's vote, because he knew he was moving into, he knew the agenda. How about that? Okay. So AFA is pointing to several examples of an agenda-driven assault on young Americans. Okay. This spring, the tax-funded PBS Kids aired a gay marriage on the author cartoon. Did anybody see that? This is on cartoons. This is what we're allowing our children to watch. Does anybody sit down with their children? I didn't even allow my children to watch like BET when they were coming up. That was not even on in my house while I was there. I ain't gonna say it didn't come on when I wasn't there, but when I was there, it didn't. It was something that I allowed them to watch because I was making sure that they were being brought up healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I kept them from everything, because I'm sure when they went to school or when they went over their friends, when they just spend a night, but they, were allowed to go over there, maybe for a couple hours or an hour just to, hang out with friends. I'm sure they engaged a little bit, but I tried to keep them away from as much negativity as possible. Okay. For the season premiere, the animated series revealed that one of its longtime main characters and author's teacher, Mr. Ratburn, was gay and getting married. See what I'm saying? This is you have to understand. Here's the agenda, people. Remember, Target department stores, I don't even shop at Target, are not only offering clothing, which they do, clothing line, and accessories for both adults and children to celebrate the gay lifestyle, but the company has also pledged to donate $100,000 to the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network, okay? An organization whose primary focus is instructing school-age children about how to create gay clubs in public schools around the nation. Now, remember they're look at what they're promoting, but you couldn't read a Bible in school, right? But you can promote this. Why don't we see the black parents having a crazy fit about this? We don't care, because white folk came up with it, and we okay with when white folk come up with dysfunction for our children. But let me come in there and say, hey, I want us to have a 1,000,000-man march, gun marching. We're gonna call me an agent, right? NFAC. Okay, I'm just saying. Go ahead. Let's keep on. Okay. For more than 2 years, AFA has led the boycott Target. I don't even shop there. Okay. Initiative due to the retailers' dangerous, ill-advanced restrooms and fitting room policy that opens the door to voyagers in the name of the political correctness, right? I wouldn't even go to Target. I wouldn't even let my granddaughter go to the bathroom there. She's 14. I wouldn't dare let her go to the bathroom in Target by herself. I'm serious. This stores, I tell her, look, pee before you go home. And if she asks to go, and she's my granddaughter, I'm going with her, because I'm telling you, touch mine if you want to. I'm just saying. Y'all better, I'm telling you, y'all better wake up and smell the coffee, honey. Because I see some people letting their 4 and 5-year-olds go to the bathroom. Come on, go ahead and come on back. Come on back what? I ain't doing it. Converse exploited an 11-year-old boy, Desmond. Hold on. There was this little boy I saw. And I did a live on him. He was actually working at a nightclub. He was 11. And he was working. His parents he was almost like he would dress up like a drag queen, right? At 11. I did a live on him. You should go back into my videos and you'll see it, where his parents had allowed him to come into a nightclub, and he was working as a drag. I'm just saying. And he would draw a cloud. He's 11 years old, and his mom and dad allowed him to work, and he was drawing such a huge cloud. It was ridiculous. All these men was just, and this might be the little boy. He was, I think this is the little boy who described himself as a drag queen. This is him right here. Look up Desmond, you guys, and see he's 11 years old. I don't know why this just came up, but this was him as a drag kid to show the company is connected to the LGBT community and to promoting its Pride collection. And this is a real little boy. His name is Desmond. I did a live on him. Man, this is the same kid. Child Protective Services investigated the boy's family after a video of him performing, and he was really performing. He had a drag wig, and he was a blonde little girl. I'm telling you, he looked just like, you can even tell he was a boy. It was just so crazy, right? But I'm glad to hear that his mom, his parents were investigated, but they would allow him to work at this bar as a drag kid, as this kid, a female drag kid, right? So let's finish performing in the drag at a gay club in Brooklyn surfaced, okay? And they really was doing that. This comes at a time reports AFA, they didn't even tell us what happened to his parents. The stance when children are being bombarded with the ideas that they have the right to control their sexuality. How in the hell you got a right to control anything when you can't even go and buy a pack of cigarettes without being 21? But you're going to tell me that you have a right to control. Did you understand that DC, Washington just came out with laws telling you that your children do not have to come to you if they want to start taking hormone drugs? They don't have to come to you, and they would start even trying to say that if they were a certain age, that if they wanted to, like Zion, Dwayne Wade's, his son really don't have to come to him to get like a sex change and all this stuff. It's actually a law that they've come up with that's saying that they don't have to get any parental rights to anything. They don't have to get any permission to do any of this. They can say, oh, I just want to, or I feel like a girl, and they can go and get the drugs to start all of this crazy stuff. They don't even need parental consent to do it. For instance, Teen Vogue recently published an open-end opt-on why sex is real work in an attempt to glamorize prostitution. Oh, God. But see, this is stuff that America's for. But you want to tell me that this is better than CRT? I'm going to come back to this. Okay, gay characters was seemingly shoehorned into the scene in the blockbuster Marvel film Avengers Endgame to satisfy the LGBT agenda and reach a younger generation. Drag queen stories, hours at the library. See, this is what you're saying. See, all of this dysfunction, but where's the hype? Where's the writing of laws here to prevent this? Okay, I don't see anybody. I don't see Congress. I don't see DeSantis writing against this. I don't see him making laws against. And I think, hold on, take that back. I think he did have some laws that was talking about this. So I take that back. I think he was the only one. But where it's more than one Senate, one Congress, one governor, right? Where are all the laws? Where are all the people who wrote against CRT? You have a lot of laws and bills that was written against CRT, but nothing against this. So what's worse? Is CRT worse than LGBT? You would think so, but I would think, I'm reading all this stuff. What do you guys think? I think LGBT is worse than CRT. But guess what? Because CRT has anything to do with Black people and they're not concerned with Black people, the heck with Black folk, we're going to call it this. And they can call it this because Black folk won't say anything. What do? We'll support LGBT. Won't say anything against LGBT, but we'll come against CRT. Because how many Black people are coming against CRT? Okay, I even had one. I'm going to try to pull her up. Hold on. This is another one I want to talk about. But I don't know that woman's name. Hold on, you guys. I want to pull it up, but I don't. I'll try to get to it in a minute. So let's talk about this. Let's come back. I'm going to come back over there, but I want us to really talk about this one here. Hold on, I want to see something. I want to show you something real quick. Okay, this is Black folk coming against CRT. Hold on. Okay, this is what I want you to see. Hold on. I want to show you guys something. Now, this is how serious this is, right? Hold on.
We're going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other. That's pretty much, I don't care what it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to personally tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How do I get, first of all, time up. We only got 5 minutes now. 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees. No mom, no dad in the house. Worked my way through college. Sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? What's sickening about this whole thing is what y'all doing right now is already something I do in my community right now to speak out against stuff because black folks are getting told by other black folks, oh, you know you ain't gonna be able to do nothing out there in the world because them white folks ain't gonna let you get no, or you know you're not gonna be able to do it here because the white man gonna keep you down. Well, how did I get where I am right now? If some white man kept me down. How am I now direct?
Hold on. How did he get there? Because he's safe. They're not afraid of him. So they'll let him get ahead over somebody like myself. That's how he got ahead, right? This dummy don't even understand. White folk don't clap for you unless you're safe. White folk don't clap for you and get behind you when you act like me and act like Bakari and act like Forecast, right? White folk could get behind Candace Owens because why? She's safe. They're not worried about her doing anything. But let's talk. Let's finish hearing him. Let's finish hearing this dummy. Come on.
Over folks that look just like you guys in this room right now. How? What kept me down? What oppressed me? I work for myself from off the streets to where I am right now. You gonna sit here and tell me this lie of critical race theory? This the reason why black folks can't get ahead because of white folks? Are you kidding me? This is what we come to now. I can't believe we even talking about this right now. The last thing we're gonna say right here is something that's crazy. Martin Luther King said he wanted his kids to grow up in a world where they are judged by the contents of their what? Not their skin.
Hold on. Are we being judged by a character right now? What did Martin Luther King say? He also said that I've just taken my people into a burning bush. A burning house. I said burning bush. A burning house, right? But now this joker here trying to tell us, oh, Martin Luther King wanted us to come. I don't give a damn what Martin Luther King wanted. Okay? What did God say? He told us, I'm going to get my Bible on y'all today. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to do it. Hold on. I got to do it. I got to do it. Hold on. I got to do it. Hold on. We're going to listen to Martin Luther King or we're going to listen to God. What he said? I'm going to show it to you. I got to do it. I don't even want to, but I got to do it. Hold on. I didn't want to, but I'm going to do it. Y'all forced me to do it. Hold on. He said, hold on. Woo, man. Hold on. And when the Lord God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shall y'all make marriages with them. Thy daughters shall not. Man, this is the wrong version for me. Okay, shall not give unto his sons, nor his daughters shall thou take unto thy sons. Okay, for they will turn away thy sons from following me, and they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Okay, so what did that mean? Read it for yourself. Go to Deuteronomy 7. He didn't already told you what not to do, but this little fool here, he wanted to. Martin Luther King told you it was okay, right? Who was a pastor who preached, who knew his word, or did he know the word? Okay, because I'm looking at him suspect too. I'm looking at these pastors who's sitting up here doing just what the Bible told them not to do. I just read it to you. Don't give them to your daughters. Don't give them to your sons. But he got a whole Jezebel that he took and brought her in front of his church, right? In front of his congregation and gonna show you. God don't know what he's talking about. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I still think I'm gonna preach his word, right? And I'm gonna teach y'all. How can you tell me anything? You can't tell me anything if you sat up there and you went totally against what you call yourself representing, right? But let's hear this little faggot here.
He's letting this stuff go on right now. It is absolutely on the complete reverse of what he's doing. So when February comes, don't talk about Martin Luther King. When February comes, don't talk about Black History Month. Y'all gonna sit there and just pretty much be on his grave with this nonsense. That's exactly what's about to happen. When it all comes down to it, the person that's going to be suffering from this, the one's going to be hurt from this, is the kids. 10 years from now, if this stuff goes on, whose fault is it going to be? Whose fault is it going to be? Who we going to look back on and blame for this?
You.
This is stuff we talking about right now. This stuff is going on right now. I do this stuff on a daily basis. I'm in the hood. I'm in the communities. I'm out there with folks in their face.
What's he in the community doing? Telling us white folks safe, right? This is why we're in the predicament we're in today. Right here, right there. Because I guarantee you he went to a white school. I guarantee you he went to one of them mixed schools. I guarantee you he was the one. He was probably that little boy that Martin Luther King saw holding that white girl's hand and thought it was okay. This is what's going on in that community. We don't have no idea. And this right here is showing me we don't have any idea of who our enemy is. Because Martin Luther King told us it was okay. But what did God's word? I just read it to you. What did he say? Come from among, be ye separate, and learn not their ways, right? And everything he told us not to do, we're doing it. That's what's going on with us right here today, right? But he want to tell us it's okay, right? Oh, I had another one. I can't find it though. I hope I can. Lord, I hope I can. I hope I can. Man, I hope it was this one. This one was another one, just like him, right? She was on them half breeds, right? They want to tell you that critical race theory is dangerous for our babies. How's it dangerous for our babies? Tell us. Can't find her. I can't find her, but I'm gonna keep looking. But I want to go back to this. Why does critical race theory make people so uncomfortable? Why? The war on critical race theory ramps up across the United States, okay? It has become one of the most politicized school of thoughts, okay? Sparking debate in both private and public spheres, while debates surrounding CRT are now not new. It's not new. It has gained increased attention following the George Floyd murder and the Black Lives Matter movement, right? Proponents of CRT argue that it is an analytical tool for unearthing and interrogating the pervasiveness and systematic racism of the martyr of wars, and it is embedded in society, institutional policies, processes, and practices. Do you understand that? CRT is what? It's systematic. It's in the system, right? It's embedded in society, institutional policies, processes, and practices. But critics of CRT assert that it is divisive, anti-American discourse. Okay, is it really? Did CRT really divide America, or was America already divided? Where did they get this stuff from? Was America already divided, or what? Or did we, because we had hold on, I'm trying to find. I got one. I'm trying to find this young woman. Oh my God, it was so disgusting. It was really disgusting, you guys. So did CRT really divide America? Why did they already say that? Why did they already say that? That when Black folk come up with talking about racism in America, all of a sudden it's dividing America. Why do they do that? Tell me why. They always want to say, oh, y'all want to talk about racism. Y'all want to talk about calling us out on our stuff. You dividing America because we want to pull your carpet. We want to pull you to the carpet. But it's divisive when we want to talk about it, right? But it ain't divisive no other time. America's always been divided, right? It didn't happen because CRT came, right? Okay, but let's go on. So it's saying, but critics of CRT assert that it is divisive, anti-American discourse, right? Whoever villainizes white people and indoctrinates young minds. Okay, did white folk villainize themselves, or did Black people do it for them? How did we do it? They villainize themselves because of their history, because of how they treated Black people, and they don't want that out in the open because that's going to make them too uncomfortable, and it's going to make their kids uncomfortable to see how crazy that their grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents treated Black people, okay? So now, let's sleep under the carpet. It's nothing to see under here. It's not even important. We don't even want to discuss it because it's going to make us feel bad. It's going to make our children feel bad, but it's okay how it made our Black children feel, huh? It's okay of how it made our Black children feel, right? I want to see this one. I think this is another one I was trying to show you. Hold on, you guys. I think this is the one I was trying to show you. Hold on.
Such a complex, controversial topic, I have a very simple question. Why? What is the purpose? What does it solve? What does it actually teach? Imagine two childhood friends, Jenny and Sharon. They've been friends since they were 2 years old, sharing everything, birthdays, sleepovers, and a number of firsts. They grow up and enter the public school system where CRT is being taught. Jenny is reminded she's white and learns about the atrocities committed to maintain her white privilege. And Sharon is reminded she's Black and every shortcoming and challenge she faces is because of Jenny's white privilege. Tensions rise, hostility creeps in, and just like that, the friendship is over. Now, perhaps my example is a little extreme, but not too far-fetched. It actually sounds familiar. Children don't see race until you and I show it to them. So I can tell you what CRT teaches. Critical race theory does nothing but perpetuate the same narrative. It plants the same seed of divisiveness. So why do you want to keep telling the same distorted and divisive story, and especially to our children in the form of education? I ask again, why? Does it help our lagging test scores? Does it equip our children with the tools needed to enter the real world? And by real world, I mean workforce and making a better living, financial literacy, and proper decision making. Does it teach our children to value one another regardless of skin color? Does it teach?
Hold on. Is that even what critical race theory is? Did you hear her example? She didn't once, never once did she talk about the system. Never once did she talk about the housing. Never once did she talk about the prison. Never once did she talk about police brutality. Never once did she talk about the system. She's regurgitating what white supremacy told her. Instead of her doing her own research, she regurgitated something that white folk told her because I want to please massa. Who's around her? Who do you see around her? Tell me who you see around her.
Our children to take pride in our country.
Who you see around her?
A country where a man can be a slave, come from nothing, yet give birth to a generation of children that have everything.
Hold on. So do we have everything? Oh, we got everything. We don't have no kind of discrimination right now. We can go and our Black men are working and they're making $35 an hour like white men, right? Our women are not working 3 jobs because they're making enough money on one job like white women. No, hold on. Our Black women are stay-at-home moms like the white women are, right? Because she said we're not lacking anything, right? So our children are not going through any type of gun violence. They're getting the same type of education that these white children are getting in these private institutions, right? Come on, she said we're not lacking anything, right? Who's she around? What room do you see? Who's in the room, family? Who's in the room? Y'all help me out. Who's in the room? Let's finish listening.
We're conversing amongst a group of Black friends, and we all reflect on our own childhood and how Black history was a small section in a history book comprised of only slavery, Jim Crow laws, and civil rights. Slavery ended in 1865. 146 years worth of information.
Did it really end? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you really understand what I'm saying? She's telling you slavery ended. I see a whole lot of our Black men in their prisons that they've made trillions of dollars off of our Black men, our Black women, and our children. Did you hear about the judge that just made, she was, God, she just retired. They made her retire. But for 10 years, she was putting Black children in these little jails, okay? One Black child went to jail because he didn't stop a fight. Come on now. She said she was doing God a favor. She was doing these children a favor. She was getting them off the street. She didn't do white children like that. You know what? They didn't even give her any jail time. She was making up the laws as she went along. But she didn't do any white kids like that. But when it comes to us, no matter what they do, they never get jail time. She got fines. So now she's got to pay each one of those children back who she's ruined their lives, put them in the prison, in the jail system, right? And as small as 15, right? She was giving these babies. She was giving them time. They gave each one of those children $1,500 for her ruining their lives. But she thought she's doing God a favor. I'm taking care of, I'm doing what I will put on this earth to do. And that's what she said, even in her retirement speech. This is what bothers me. When you got Black folk like this that don't understand anything, they don't research nothing. They don't get the true meaning of what CRT really is talking about. So you coming up against, but I couldn't find one parent that talked about the dangers of LGBT being taught in their schools. I couldn't find one parent, but I seen two. Oh, it's plenty more. It's plenty more black folk. Because you better believe when you're talking about black people, you got black folk coming out the woodwork. Because I want to show Massa how wrong other black folk are. I'm going to come against my own to show Massa I love y'all. I got you. You can count on me. But you can't never count on their asses for nothing. You can't even count on them for reparations because 87% said no, black folk don't need reparations. But you're giving Holocaust victims, who's not even victims because half of them, it didn't even happen in America. Let's talk about that. Holocaust never happened in America, but you're giving them reparations. But you didn't know to black folk getting reparations, but you gave Holocaust victims or their children's children for something that didn't happen in America. But they get checks every year from America, from your tax dollars. But you're okay with that, as long as they don't look like me. As long as they don't look like me. As long as they don't look like us. But let's see what else she got to say. I'm almost done. Almost. I've been on here long. Oh my God, this is really too long. 132. Oh my God, this is really too long, you guys. I really don't like these long lives.
Since then, and yet it's filled with nothing but slavery, trauma, inferiority, and that's all the history anyone ever shoves in front of us. Again, why? What is the purpose? CRT is not an accurate account of Black history or American history for that matter, and it is imperative we do not allow it to pass as such. I'm sure everyone here is aware of the 2000.
Did they ever say that it was going to be history? It's not about history. It's about the system that they put together for Black people's demise. It talks about, it exposes the system. It's not even about history. It's more about the system than anything else. And we as Black people, because we've not done our research, we regurgitate what they've told us that it meant. That's what white folks said it's about. But that's not what CRT is. It's about their system they erected for Black folk, for our failure. That's why they don't want it taught. That's why they don't want you to even talk about it. Because it exposes them. And their kids can see how they really are. And our children can begin to recognize. That's only educating our children about how they really are. So now you understand why it's so hard and why it's so important for them to keep that under wraps. Because if we expose the system, our children's children will begin to recognize the system and begin to come against the system. I'm just saying. But that's not what she said. I'm almost done. I keep saying I'm almost done. I really am. I promise you I'm almost done. Just want to hear a little bit more. But you got about 5 more minutes. Come on.
2018 to 2019 state report card. That's the only one I could find available online. Less than 33% of Hamilton County students were found to read at grade level. When critical race theory is mentioned, the average individual cannot define it, and our children most certainly cannot define, let alone comprehend its complexities.
Hold on. Wasn't even taught to our children. CRT is not even something that's taught to children. How did it go? Here we go again with the regurgitation of white supremacy, right? We always regurgitate them. It's not even being taught to your children. It was taught in a college level law schools. Some, not even all. But here you have her lying, repeating lies that she's learned from her best friend,
Becky. I value
Becky.
Teachers tremendously. My own father is an educator, but teachers are teachers, and they do not, and nor does anyone on the board replace the parents. Many of you may be thinking, CRT is banned in the state of Tennessee. This is not a problem in the Hamilton County School District. Well, I do have with me an assignment given to my son directly following the banning of CRT in our state. He was provided with the banning article with a writing prompt. What is the importance of CRT in the public school system? This is a problem, and I would like it noted. The focus should be our core subjects that are not excelling in language art.
But they're teaching your child LGBT. I don't hear her mentioning that. You okay with that though, right? You're okay with them putting your son in a dress, but you're not okay with learning about their racist system. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You're freaking okay with your son being in a dress, but not him learning about their system that's holding him back. And that other brother said, well, I got two, man. Okay, you're safe. But if he acted, and let's see, they're probably treating him real good on his job because he doesn't act like me. They're probably he's acting obedient. He's one of them obedient Negroes, right? He's probably one of them coons, right? So he's being treated really well because Bobby is my best friend. Bakari, forecast. If you were on these jobs, which you had job, forecast, how they treating you on your job. If you don't conform and you act like, how would they treat you on their jobs? He's not talking about that, right? Because that's foreign to him, because I don't act like that. I'm getting ahead because I got two masters. I got two of this and two of that. But I've sold myself out. I've sold my soul. I don't even act black. I act like them. I think like them. I'm going to come against my own for Master to let them know, Master, I'm still okay. We okay over here. We got you. I'm going to take care of them niggas for you. Let's continue. And then I'm done. Man, God, I'm going to try to get it done, y'all. I'm going to try to let her talk through the whole thing. Come on.
Arts, math, science, and social studies, with the addition of trades, work readiness, and financial literacy. And let's be clear, the fact we are not excelling in these subjects has nothing to do with race. My son is in the gifted program. He has a 4.0. He scored a 25 on the ACT as a sophomore with absolutely no prep. That leads me to the importance of school choice, and is highlighted in the HCDE mission statement, the environment of our schools.
Hold on.
And how all of this...
Hold on. Now, she talked about her son, how he's excelling. But I can tell you several students that's not excelling. Some can't even read. I'm just saying. Some can't even read that they've passed from grade to grade. Then when you come to the schools and say, hey, what's going on here? They're not obligated to make sure your child reads. They don't care. Her son, just like they'll tell you, oh, you got rich black folk, they're millionaires, Oprah's, and okay, that's what, maybe not even half of black people. That might be what? You might have, I don't know. I don't even want to guess how many black millionaires we have. Okay. It's a handful. But I can show you several handfuls that are not making it in America. They can't even pay their bills because, for one, they won't even hire black men. Or they hire them and they'll give them what, $12, $13, $14, $15 an hour. But hire a white man. And I know this because I have friends. I had a guy. He was at the bank making about $30 an hour, $30, $35 an hour, right? He was in the banking industry. He lost his job. He went and got another job. No, he quit this job to go to another company, which I would have never did, because you knew you were good at this company, but he quit this company to go to another company, right? Probably making $5 more, right? But then they let him go. He couldn't go back to this job making $35 an hour, right? So you know what he's making now? $20 an hour. I'm just saying, they're not hiring our black men. He just had favor with the $35 an hour job. But now he was living on his savings. He said, Cass, I need a job. I need a job. Anything. He's making $20 an hour right now. He came from $35 to $20. And then they've since let him go. I'm just saying, I know how these companies are, okay? I was working as a recruiter. I couldn't even get black men recruited into working these jobs. Couldn't even get them recruited. They wouldn't even hire them. Yes, and they were very, very, very ready and right. They had degrees, experience, and they still couldn't get a job. So what is she talking about? What is she talking about? We are so brainwashed when it comes to them. We are so brainwashed when it comes to them. They can do us no wrong. Did you hear her mention the LGBT agenda? I didn't. Does she care? No. Doesn't care that your child is being indoctrinated right now. You're probably okay with that because Master's doing it. It's at Master's table. Master ain't going to teach my son nothing wrong. Master ain't going to hurt my son. Then you turn around and sell your child. Then what? But you had nothing to say about that. Let's finish. Let's just finish listening. It's almost done.
Correlates with critical race theory. I grew up in Malin, Tennessee, graduated from Malin High School. At the time I attended, Blacks made up 15% of the school population. Whites were dominant. As I reflect on my experience, not once did I feel inferior, as CRT suggests. Not once was I oppressed.
How many of you guys grew up in their schools? Do you see why our Black children are not learning today and how they drop it out and how they're failing? These schools aren't teaching you your history. But she didn't once feel, she didn't, it's okay. It was okay. I didn't need to learn about my Blackness anyway because I was in with NASA. I'm good. I don't need to learn my history, but they learning theirs and they teaching you theirs. So they're trying to tell you that they're more important than you are, and you were okay with it. Did you hear her? Are you listening to this? Are we hearing the same young woman? She was fine, not learning her history. She was fine. But you mean to tell me, Huck Finn, okay? What's the name of the book? Didn't make you feel uncomfortable? Because back in them days, they had some slavery books they used to talk about. And I hated that book. I hated that. And they would call us niggas in them books, remember? But they never once said, oh, don't say that. Or don't teach them books. That was what books were mandatory, were they not? But they called us niggas in them books, did they not? Huck Finn, remember? Huck Finn, it's some more books. It's some more books. Remember about the dog? What was the one? Sounder. Okay. Was that the name of the dog with the dog? Remember all these racist books they had us read? Did it not make you feel inferior? Did it not make you feel bad reading these books? But she said she didn't feel nothing. Come on, let's see.
Expectations that were set at the time were for all students, regardless of race. I left the public school system and my family knowing I could accomplish anything, and my skin color was the very least of my concern. Fast forward to having a child who attended Orchard Middle and currently attends Brainerd High School. In both instances, he has been stereotyped, bar lowered, viewed as being at a disadvantage, and even labeled with phrases like, he's not like the rest of them, by an actual teacher. CRT would do nothing but reinforce.
Hold on. Now, did you just hear her, what she said? So he has been affected now, but now she's going to relate it to CRT? Did she really just do that? Did you hear what I heard? Hold on. Let me just I got to go back a little bit, y'all. Hold on. Help me out.
And currently attends Brainerd High School. In both instances, he has been stereotyped, bar lowered, viewed as being at a disadvantage, and even labeled with phrases like, he's not like the rest of them, by an actual teacher. CRT would do nothing but reinforce.
Did you hear what she just said? Right? Did you hear what she just said? But she said that she didn't have that problem. We always had that. We've always had that problem. I've had that problem. Forecast, I'm sure you have, being a boy, a man now. But as a young child is what I'm saying. I'm trying to offend. I didn't mean the way it came out. Being a young child, you probably, Ricard, as being a young child, you probably had the same. Only as being a young child, you probably had the same issues coming up in high school and elementary school and junior high, middle school. Because I saw in our school, our Black boys, when we were coming up, had the roughest time. The same thing she said that her son is experiencing, but she just said, oh, it was good. I had no problems. Now you contradicting yourself. So what is it? What is it? Which one is it? Let's continue. I keep trying to, y'all, I'm trying to go. I promise you, I'm trying.
Force this culture of inferiority and further alienate our Black children. We must not teach children that any challenge We must not teach Black children that any challenge or burden that they may face comes from white people. We must not teach white children that they are the cause.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Did you hear that? We must teach our children that it's not about white folk. They're not causing problems. They don't have a system set up against you. Then what is the problem? Tell me what the problem is. Let me let her finish.
America. We must teach all children, regardless of color, you are the writer of your own life, and any system set in place that threatens your dignity and freedom, you have the power to eliminate, one voice and one vote at a time.
What the hell?
I urge you not.
Y'all gonna make me take my wig off today. I'm just saying. What the hell are you talking about? One vote at the freaking time? We've been voting how long? We're still not free. So how much more voting are we going to have to do? You see what I'm saying? You see this right here? This is total ignorance.
to let CRT into our schools, stand firm on the Tennessee banning of CRT, and hold every single educator accountable who has the audacity to take matters into their own hands.
They're doing that anyway without CRT. Aren't they taking matters in their own hand without CRT? But she totally, what her son is going through, she totally injected CRT into it. That's brainwashing. That right there is totally brainwashing. Is what she said true? God, I gotta be done.
That right there is totally
I'm sorry, you guys. I had to switch over. I'm just saying. I'm gonna be done. I promise you I'm gonna be done. I'm done. I'm done now. I'm just done. That right there. Parents in policy expressed ongoing outrage and denounced the use of CRT in elementary and secondary schools curriculum. They never had it in there. Similar as colleges and universities commemorate Black History Month in February. What the hell we could commemorate Black History anything for? Nothing ever changes. So what do we need Black History for? We have people that don't even want to celebrate Juneteenth. I'm just saying. Contend that Black History Month programs and events reflect CRT principles. Now you're going to take Black History Month away from us, really? Oh, my God. Do you guys really understand this? Are we really understanding this? Herschel Walker, I see. No, he don't like anything Black. He don't even like himself, okay? Herschel Walker don't like himself, and we understand that, right? Okay. I'm just saying. But let's keep on. I'm almost done. I keep trying to get done with this. Similarly, as colleges and universities commemorate Black History Month in February, and some parents contend that Black History Month programs and events reflect. Okay, but some Black parents contend. Some parents contend that Black History Month programs and events reflect CRT principles. Really? So now you want to take away Black History Month, right? Anything related to Black people, but you have Spanish American Day, right? You're teaching Spanish kids about their Spanish history, right? But when it comes to Black folk, you don't want to teach them about their history. You don't want to talk about when we were kings and queens in Africa, right? You don't want to talk about any of that. You want to just cut everything Black out the way. Okay, but we okay with that, right? Because you got Black folks standing up talking about CRT. You're working for white folk, right? You're working for white folk. You're spitting out their white supremacy talking points. You're talking about the system because she said it was fine for her. Then she talked about the system that was against her own son. Did you hear it? But she blamed what? CRT? It's the freaking system, dummy. You didn't talk about the system. You blamed it on CRT. This is what your son is going through right now. You didn't even have the decency to talk to save your own son. You threw him under the bus. You're not even thinking about your own child. You're thinking about not making white folk children feel uncomfortable. That's exactly what she did. Because I heard what she said at the end. Oh, my son going through this, and this now. And I'm going to hold the teachers accountable. But you blamed it on CRT. Was it CRT or was it the system? It was the system. Comes back to the system. Oh, my goodness. The Ranger one among white nationals extremists have transpired into inciting violence and issuing bomb threats at approximately 16 historic black universities. Why? Read more. Critical race theory diversity is not the solution. Dismantle white supremacy is. Did you hear that? Is not the solution. Dismantling white supremacy is. Ooh, I'd like to read that. Man, I'm not going to read all this. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I do want to look at one thing though. Let me see this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to look at this conversation. System of racism is a pandemic. Okay. Critical race theory. Diversity is not the solution. Dismantling white supremacy is. That's the solution right there. That is the solution. Race has been a mainstream in the media this year. Every day there is another racism story in the news, on the podcast, treading on Twitter, or being joked about on late night television. This is what it is right here. Dismantling white supremacy. How are we ever going to? That's why they don't want you to even talk about critical race theory. They don't want to dismantle white supremacy. Okay. As a critical race theory educator and activist, I have spent most of my life inserting race into the conversation. You would think this focus would have me thrilled, finally everyone is talking about race. Not only are people talking about race, they are talking about critical race theory and having important conversation about the role of systematic racism in our country and across the globe. They're not talking about it. This sudden interest in CRT is largely due to former U.S. President Donald Trump's now defunct executive order banning the teaching of CRT in the schools. Since then, many states have taken up similar policies. Okay. What is okay? I'm not going to read what is the critical race theory, but that's the theory, right? The solution of every problem, the solution to every problem. Progressive folks take up diversity like it is the solution on every problem. We are bombarded with it through committees, policies, and commitments. Okay, you see it everywhere in the public institutions to private corporations. Canada icon Hudson Bay conspiracy has been embroiled in recent diversity scandals, while HBC was collecting donations for campaigning to empower Indigenous people, Black people, and the people of color across the country. They used an image of whoever it is, Rodriguez, and prominent Black lawyers in Toronto without her permission. I'm not going to read all of this, you guys. I don't want to get into this. I just wanted to acknowledge this systematic racism. But I'm coming back to this title. This is it right here. Dismantling white supremacy. That's your answer right there. Period. The conclusion of all of this. Is critical race theory worse than LGBT? I hear a lot of stuff about critical race theory. When it comes to Black people, of course, you have Black folk coming against their own best interests to talk about the systematic racism. But no, they don't want to talk about that. I'm going to please Massa, and I'm going to take this fight for you, and I'm going to come against my own, and we're going to fight it out. And white folks stand in the back, and they say, look at them niggas go. When they have white on white crime and they fighting it out, Russia, Ukraine, I'm coming, Master, I'm gonna help you out. You have Black folk getting in that. We don't know how to mind our own business. We don't know how to take care of each other. We don't know how to support each other. But we got it down packed when it comes to the boy. I got you, Master. Us house is on fire, Master. I'm gonna go and run in there and save this hand. So you're gonna get yourself burned up from this hand. I'm just saying. So what's more important? The sad part is that we don't have any Black folk that's coming against this LGBT that they're teaching our children in their schools. You have more standing up against this CRT stuff than you do against LGBT. So on my understanding, from what I've done, the research I've done, what's more harm is the LGBT. But we won't tackle that. We would rather ignore it. We won't talk about the big elephant in the room because white folk don't think it's important. And I don't want to offend Massa. I'm ready to offend them. I've been ready to offend them. Every chance I get, I bring up stuff that to offend them on purpose. Because it's time to talk about it. It's time to call them out. I told you I had a white girl, when I was working, asked me, Cassie, is there any white people you trust? Oh, I was glad she asked me that. I said, you really want to know the answer? Are you ready for the answer? She said, yeah. I said, not one. She said, all of us? You think all of us bad? I said, yeah. Including me, yes. Because I heard you, how you talked about your friend over there. Oh, I'm going to break it down. I ain't scared. Don't ask me if you don't want to hear the answer, don't ask me. Including you. Because I saw how you talked about the girl over there. And then you came to me with it. And I saw how you was playing. It's different things that she was even playing, right? And I'm listening. Because we had a new supervisor started and he was about, oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other to come against it. I'm listening. And you think I'm going to trust you? But you must have forgot when I heard you made that plan over there. You must have forgot I was standing in the room. Oh, I'm going to tell you about yourself every chance I get. Every chance I get. I don't hold nothing. When I get a chance to bring them front and center, I do. Because I don't care about none of them. And I don't mind them knowing it. I don't have my feelings. You should see all of this when they come around. They want to make a joke, it ain't funny. And I look crazy at them. I was in the store the other day, and then I'm gonna go. Had a white guy that was talking to this black girl, and she was talking about, I don't know how, I guess some neighbors around him, I don't know how them black folk making it, how they got all this money. They must be selling drugs. Oh man, I heard that. I had to, we were sitting in line, so I'm standing up there. He's getting checked out, and he was complaining against with the black girl, right? And I'm looking. Well, I had to come in. My husband standing. I had to come in front of the basket because I wanted to hear, because I wanted to get in that conversation so bad. Oh, I wanted to get in that and I just looked at him. I just looked at him. I was waiting on him to make our contact. Oh, I wanted to eat his ass up on that conversation. I was dying to get in that conversation because I wanted to tell him about himself. Oh, I look for him. I look for stuff like that, right? And when he saw me come around, he got real quiet there. He started talking lower, right? So I couldn't hear. And I'm just looking at him. I ain't moved. I just looked at him because he knew I would looked at him. His wife was standing behind my husband, right? She was standing behind. And I just looked at him. I had to come on up there to see. And I'm just looking. I was giving him all kind of eyes and faces. And I know he could look at me and say, oh, that little nigga right there. I didn't care. Because you're talking noise right now. You're talking out of your butthole right now. Okay, regurgitating that same old hatred. And see, what bothers me is when they regurgitate that and black folk take it and run with it. That's why they do it. They want you to regurgitate it, then they want you to take it back to your people, and then you're gonna repeat that same garbage. Don't come with me with no racism, white supremacy crap that you done heard somebody else talk to your people, talk about your people, then you'll come and bring it to me. Don't bring me there. You got the wrong one. Because I will never go against mine in front of you. I may not even agree with R. Kelly. I'm just saying, but I will never go against him in front of a white person. And this is what black folk need. This is the discussion amongst us. I'm not going to come against my brother with you in front of, with you. I'm not doing it for them. I don't care if I don't agree. You'll never know I don't agree. That's a conversation amongst us. And what bothers me about black people will make them included in that conversation, or they'll be able to come in the midst and regurgitate something, drop a seed, and then they'll run, and then black folk, and we come in, we hitting each other with it, Oh, and they over there in the back because they didn't drop the seed, and we coming against each other for them. And they go, yep, we did it again. It's so easy, but we've not learned their tactics. That's what the problem is. We have to start learning their tactics, especially when they come in the midst of us and drop a seed. This is what we have to do. We have to recognize. I'm done. I'm telling you, I'm done. I didn't want to be, I did not want to take all day on this. I didn't even want to be on here this long. I am going to drop the link, but if you guys want to come say, you guys say, but I'm ready to get off. I'm so serious. I'm trying to close because I don't like these long lives, but I dropped the link. If you want to just come on and talk a few minutes and be done, because I'm done. But I hate it when they are allowed to come in the midst of us and run their mouth. They don't even have a right to speak. They don't. A friend of mine has we go service on Saturdays, right? He's got this one white guy there, and it bothers me because he allows him to speak. I don't think that they need to come around black people and have anything to say about our black issues. It bothers me. How you 2 hours late for work? How you 2 hours late for work? Wow, William. How you get to be 2 hours late? Another 10 minutes won't hurt you. You're already late. I'm sorry. Okay, Bakari, I got you. But I'm just saying, I'm done, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming on. I'm serious. But it bothers me. But we have to learn how not to continue to regurgitate their stuff. When they come in the midst, and we talking black issues, we talking about the black family, they do not get a right to speak. You sit and listen. And it's also bothering me how the young adults, are coming against the elders. Okay. I understand that they did what they did, and they did as much as they could, right? Because of the lack of understanding, right? But when I see some of the young folk not listening to real wisdom, because there's some older people here that has real wisdom, but we won't say anything. I mean, we say stuff, but they get so disrespectful to the ones that has real wisdom, not the ones that, you know, like Martin Luther King. We're not talking about those elders, okay? We already know. Now, you got some of those that really understand white folk. Okay, my mom's 82, and she'll tell you about them crackers, honey. I ain't get it from nowhere. I got it from my mom. I'm just saying, right? 82. Because remember when the thing, when everybody was getting this, I said, Mom, I said, you don't get it? She looked at me, she said, are you crazy? She said, I know about them. I've been around them a long time. She said, I wouldn't give nothing. They couldn't even give me a house to get it. I'm telling you. But see, now that I can understand. But you do have some folk that we understand, we can see. But then you have these young folk that think like that young woman, right? That want to tell us how we being racist against them. And I look at them and say, you need to sit down and learn something. Because this is why Black folk in the condition that we're in now, because of these young folk with these brand new ideas, these Martin Luther King ideas, that's going to tell you to come out and vote. How long we been voting? And has anything changed? Oh, Biden getting ready to come out with that school. Remember the school? Oh, he didn't finish it because he's using that to bring Black folk in so that they can vote for him in 2024. Oh, he's not as dumb as you think. He might got Alzheimer's, but he's still, they didn't gave him a few hints, okay? Oh, yeah, he gonna bring that education bill out to pay off Black folk loans again. He gonna bring it out. Now he says it's hooked up in Congress, right? It ain't hooked up nowhere. He gonna use that tactic to lure young Black folks, 30 years old, the 33-year-old, 32, 20 something, who's in college, who has lost loans. He's gonna use that to lure them in, and he's gonna try to get in there again. And guess what? Black folk gonna vote for it. They're gonna fall for it again. We always falling for stupid stuff. Come on, y'all. We fall for the dumbest things, right? Biden ain't never liked Black folk. His track record with Black folk is horrible, right? But he gonna use that. That man ain't as dumb as you think he is. He can get in that office just by being who he is, right? I'm just saying. Watch and see what I tell you. He gonna use that, and it's gonna be a couple more things that he gonna pull out his hat. Okay, Michelle Obama. I'm just saying, he always bring out one of them Obamas, right? And it work every time. When we gonna get it? We can't get it because you got young folks thinking like this young woman I just showed you, who's telling you to vote, 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 vote. We almost got the carrot. Every year we almost got the carrot. We're a little closer this time. As soon as you reach for it, they'll snatch it back from you. And we missed it again, but we'll get it next time. We're gonna get it next time. Woo, we're gonna get it next time. We've been getting it for 400 years. We've been getting it for, ain't got nothing. What we're waiting for? We're going to keep voting, huh? Maybe we get it next time. Voting for what? You right. I'm just saying. That's what they tell us. Keep voting. Keep hope alive. Ain't that what Justice said? Keep hope alive. Y'all, I'm done. I hope you to understand what it's really all about. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I gave you some information to help you to understand what it's really about. I think I'm gonna do it one more time, huh? I don't know, because I really want to go deeper into. Well, I think we went into it enough. I think you got it. I think you got it. It's all about the system. Maybe I'll talk about the system that was built up and why they don't want CRT exposed. I don't know. We'll see. But I think we need to talk about that. The real agenda, the LGBT agenda. I think we need to stay on that because Black parents don't really understand what's going on in these schools. You don't even know what they're teaching your sons. You don't even know what they're teaching your daughters. And it's not about your daughters, it's about your sons. They want your boys. They want your men. The straight men, they want them. They want them little boys. They nasty. These devils always been nasty. They ain't changed. They ain't changed and they will never change. But we don't understand that. We keep thinking, those our friends. Oh, cool, Becky, it's cool. I'm gonna mix and mingle. I'm gonna marry one. Keep marrying them. Go ahead. Marry them little mutts. Marry them, have them little mutts. Because their mutts don't even like Black people. I've met some biracial children that don't like Black people. Especially the ones that's the mama's white and they keep them out them white family members. They don't like Black folk. They can't stand Black people. They can't stand Black folk. Because all they do is hear racial stuff in their household about Black folk. And they Black themselves. So they grow up to hate themselves, the Black part of themselves. So they lean more to the white part. But I'm done, family. I have done enough. I've said enough. If you don't get it by now, ain't nothing I can help you with. Even on every one of my lives, I try to tie them together. If you've not learned anything about Cassie right now, or about Black people, about their tactics, about us being at war, and about what we need to be doing right now, shame on you. I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm hoping that one of these days soon I'll be talking to y'all from Africa again. Because it might be sooner than you think. I'm just saying, we got people that's going over there now. I have connections. I've been talking back and forth already. Now, there is Mark Meets Africa. Him and I are going to do some work together, lives, right? He's been talking about merch. Okay. I've been looking at the merch, his merch. I've been watching this young man since he's like 22. He just made 22. And he's been in Africa since he moved over there at 19. He's been there 3 years and he's building like crazy. This man, this little boy, I don't even call him a little boy. I'm sorry. He's such mentally, he reminds me of a 35-year-old, a 40-year-old man. His mind is so mentally, and him and I are going to do some lives together, right? Because you have to understand the vision and the purpose. Either he's going to come on mine or I'm going to come on his, or we're going to be going back and forth. But you have to understand the vision. And I really want us to understand what time it is right now. Okay. So within the next few weeks, we're trying to work some things out now. We're going to be doing some things together. Okay. But I want you guys to understand about merge. I want you to understand that we should be planning on relocating. I know people say, well, why are we going? You have to understand. You have to understand. You don't need that much money. Highly favored. Yes. They're always pushing the agenda to disregard us. Yes, they are. But with merge, I'm telling you, you need to be thinking about relocating. This place is going down and it's going down fast. And if you got to understand that, you're going to get caught in the mix. 2/3 will die. When I tell you, it's 2/3 dying already. He said 2/3 going to die. I'm hoping and praying that we're not including that 2/3, because all Black folk ain't gonna make it, because Black folk gonna fight the system, fight leaving, and they're gonna stay here and they're gonna die. Because if you stand here and if you going through this thing of the money thing, they're getting ready to put you on this card. Remember how you be on unemployment and they put your money on the card? They have so much control. That digital thing is coming in July 1st, right? They're giving you a card. So when you work your jobs, your money is gonna be on the card. Don't do what they tell you to do. They're going to cut your money off. They're going to have so much control over people. They're going to have so much control. I'm telling you, and you guys are going to live some miserable lives, because the freedom that we know is going to be gone. It's going to be done. But that's the subject for another day. I don't want to start up again, but be looking. Him and I are going to do some things together, and him and I are going to be talking today, because I want to understand when we're going to do what kind of lives. But I want him to talk to you about merge. And if you guys are interested, fine. If not, then that's cool too. But I want you to at least get the information. Okay. It's always about information here. It's not about my agenda. It's about us moving forward. Okay. And building. I'm a builder. Okay. But with that said, you guys, I hope you guys have an amazing week. I'm out. I gotta go. And I just want you guys to just think about what we've talked about. I want it to be something that we spend time thinking about. And it's just not a topic. It's just not a conversation. That it's about us coming together and building with us. The ones that want to build, let's build. And merge, I think, is a great idea. I've been watching this dude for 3 years, and he has been doing nothing but building. He should be a little further than what he is, but he's got it and he's building. Okay. So I got to go. We're going to talk later. Peace. We'll be back next Sunday between 12 and 1:30. I say 12 and 1, but sometime I'll push it back to 1:30, but we're going to talk again, and hopefully I'll be able to get him on here. But peace, family. I'm gone. I'm out. Take care of yourselves.